Ujian terbuka promosi doktor untuk saudari Bernadette Santosa akan segera dimulai. Dekan Fakultas Pendidikan dan Bahasa, promotor, kopromotor, dan para penguji akan memasuki ruangan. Hadirin dimohon untuk berdiri. Sebelum acara dimulai, Pastor Unika Atmajaya akan memimpin doa. Kepada Romo Stefanus Hari Yudanto PR, kami persilahkan.
Para ibu dan bapak, saudari dan saudara terkasih, marilah sebelum kita memulai ujian terbuka program doktor ini, kita bersatu di dalam doa dan izinkan saya berdoa secara Katolik. Dalam nama Bapa dan Putra dan Roh Kudus, amin. Allah Bapa yang Maha Kasih, kami bersyukur atas berkat dan karunia-Mu pada pagi hari ini. Engkau senantiasa memberikan rahmat kesehatan untuk kami semua. Dan terlebih kami mohon berkat-Mu untuk ujian terbuka program Doktor Linguistik Terapan Bahasa Inggris Fakultas Pendidikan dan Bahasa ini. Secara khusus kami berdoa untuk Saudari Bernadette Santosa yang akan memaparkan hasil disertasinya. Semoga Engkau senantiasa memberkatinya, juga untuk para pembimbing, promotor, kopromotor, dan para penguji, serta kami semua yang hadir di sini, Bapak dan Ibu, para tamu undangan yang senantiasa mendukung di dalam doa-doanya. Semoga dari hasil pencapaian ini, ilmu dan juga wawasan yang akan dikembangkan senantiasa untuk memuji dan memuliakan Engkau, terlebih untuk Tuhan dan tanah air. Semua ini kami persembahkan ke dalam tangan-Mu dengan pengantaran Yesus Kristus Tuhan dan pengantara kami. Amin. Dalam nama Bapa dan Putra dan Roh Kudus. Amin.
Terima kasih Romo Hari. Hadirin yang kami muliakan, sidang ujian terbuka promosi doktor untuk saudari Bernadette Santosa akan segera dibuka oleh Ketua Sidang, Dekan Fakultas Pendidikan dan Bahasa, Dr. Luciana M.Id. Kami persilahkan. Hadirin dipersilahkan untuk duduk.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby officially open the public academic session for the promotion of the doctorate candidate in Applied English Linguistics, Ms. Bernadette Santosa. The examining board is composed of the dissertation advisor, Prof. Bahren Umar Siregar, Ph.D., from Atmajaya Catholic University of Indonesia, the co-advisor, Ibu Yanti, Ph.D., from Atmajaya Catholic University of Indonesia, and 3 other examiners, Bapak Umar Muslim, Ph.D., from the University of Indonesia, Professor Dr. Setiono Sugiharto from Atmajaya Catholic University of Indonesia, and Ibu Christine Manara, Ph.D., from Atmajaya Catholic University of Indonesia. Ms. Bernadette Santosa. As the Dean, Faculty of Education and Languages, I would like to ask you whether you are both physically and mentally prepared to defend your dissertation.
I am.
Thank you. Now I'm going to read Ms. Bernadette Santosa brief biodata. Ms. Bernadette earned her master's degree in applied linguistics from University of Sheffield, England, United Kingdom, and also has got some professional employment at this moment as a lecturer at the English Department, Faculty of Languages and Cultures, Maranatha Christian University, Bandung. And she has got some articles published, The Language of Young People in some Indonesian Advertisement, and also English Learners' Perspective on Culture and Silence in an EFL University Classroom. Ladies and gentlemen, the exam will now start and will last for an hour. I would like to begin by asking Ms. Bernadette Santosa to present a summary of her findings entitled Constructing Donald Trump in the David PAKMAN Show. Time is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, Ibu Lucy. Good morning, Bapak Umar Muslim. Good morning, Prof. Setiono, Prof. Bahren, Ibu Christine, and Ibu Yanti. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for this opportunity for me to present my dissertation. The title of my dissertation is Constructing Donald Trump in the David PAKMAN Show. This presentation consists of 5 parts: introduction, literary review, methodology, findings and discussion, and conclusion. Donald Trump is a controversial president, including his COVID-19 management, and since he became president, he has been the subject of many talk shows. One of them is the David PAKMAN Show on YouTube. In his talk show, PAKMAN has 2 intentions. The first one is to express his dissatisfaction with Trump's presidency, and the second one is to prevent Trump from being president again. In order to achieve the first purpose, PAKMAN exposes Trump's failures as president, and to prevent Trump from being president again, he needs to convince his audience that Trump does not have what it takes to be a good president. And this is the basis of the construction of Donald Trump in this talk show. So far, studies on representation have been using written text as their analysis subjects, and most of them only focus on microstructure analysis, which is seen in language use and discourse strategies. The macrostructure and superstructure analysis are rarely discussed. This is unfortunate because macrostructure, superstructure, and microstructure analysis complement and fortify one another. This is why so far researchers only identify the established strategies. So far, there is only one study which incorporates discourse analysis and semiosis, but this study only focused the semiotics aspect on color. Based on the explanation, there are 2 research questions which are going to be answered. The first one is about construction of Donald Trump, and the second one is the multimodal elements utilized to construct Donald Trump. This study falls into multimodal critical discourse analysis, or MCDA, which is an interdisciplinary field which combines critical discourse analysis and audiovisual communication. For this study, the CDA theory which is used is Van Dijk's micro-level analysis, which involves microstructure, superstructure, and macrostructure. And for the audiovisual analysis, Kress and Van Leeuwen's visual grammar is used. The data source for this study is 16 episodes of the David PAKMAN Show, which is YouTube videos, spanning between March and April 2020, between the point where the World Health Organization announced COVID-19 as declared as pandemic, and when World Health Organization announced that there had been 1 million deaths worldwide. The data is collected by downloading the transcripts using Sonic, and then they are reviewed, and then utterances and audio-visual elements which reveal Trump's characteristics are selected. For the macrostructure analysis, First, each utterance is evaluated to get the proposition. And then the utterances bearing the same or similar propositions are grouped by applying macro rule to get the first level macro proposition. Using the same process, we get the second macro proposition until we get the global theme. The global theme is the main idea of each episode. They all reflect Trump's characteristics, which is the building block of construction of Donald Trump. For the superstructure analysis, the first step is determine exposition type and then examine the content of each section. After that, identifying which expositional stage each section is, and this is how the new stages are discovered. For the microstructure analysis, first, select the utterances or sections in each episode which contain Trump's portrayal. Afterwards, the characteristics and the structural categories are identified, which is how the structural categories, the new structural categories are discovered. Based on that, the construction of Donald Trump is done. The findings of the macrostructure analysis is 16 global topics of each episode. From the 16 global topics, 6 facts about Trump are discovered. The first one is that he is dangerous, untrustworthy, and incompetent, reflected in the global topic of episodes 1, 6, 7, and 13. The second one is that he is not a good president, he is irresponsible, he is uncaring and irresponsible. The fifth fact is that Donald Trump should step down because he has failed in managing the pandemic, and finally, he must be voted out. And this is the construction of Trump based on the macrostructure analysis. The bottom part is the global topics. The medium part is the facts, and finally, the last one is the conclusion that Trump is not a good president, therefore he should resign and must be voted out. For the superstructure analysis, the superstructure is the schematic form that organizes the global meaning of a text. The 16 episodes belong to exposition. There are 2 types of exposition, analytical and hortatory. 4 of them belong to hortatory exposition, while the remaining 12 belong to analytical exposition. The David Pakman Show has no traditional superstructure because narratives are inserted and there are never before seen stages, intro, inset, and coda. The first one is inset. Inset is a comment inserted somewhere in the talk and is not relevant to the topic at hand. Without inset, the flow of the talk will be less smooth. Inset makes the talk more engaging and it creates rapport. This is an example where inset is found. The next one is coda. Coda is a comment or additional information at the end of the talk, a talk which may not be directly related to the topic in hand. The definition, the coining of this term is based on the definition of coda in musical term, which is a piece of music at the end of a longer piece of music, usually separate from the basic structure. Coda does not conclude what has been discussed, which is why it is not reiteration. Coda implies Trump's negative characteristics. And the third new stage is intro, which is an opening introductory statement without mentioning who, when, and where. So it is not orientation. An example of intro is taken from episode 3. So here we can see that it does not address the topic at all, which is Trump has failed, Trump must resign. Instead, it explains the steps of handling news, which is why it is not orientation and a new category, which is termed intro. Intro has little to do with portrayal of Trump. The next one is recount. It is not an element of a traditional exposition. There is orientation, which is about who, when, and where an event takes place, and sequence of events, which is series of incidents. In the David Pakman Show, some sequence of events are found in video clips and still. They reveal Trump's characteristics. The superstructure analysis shows that the David PAKMAN show does not exclusively belong to one genre, which is exposition, and there is an element of narrative, which is recount. This happens because the talk is informal, so PAKMAN does not stick to the prepared script, so there is plenty room for impromptus. For the microstructure analysis, the findings are 26 groups of Trump's characteristics using 23 strategies. What is interesting is that the first two strategies are 2 of 3 new strategies. Direct clip, still, and number 17 is direct quote. Those are the new strategies. Direct clip is a video clip played to let the audience see for themselves what PAKMAN means. It is more objective, although sometimes a somewhat leading introduction is given. But by watching the clips themselves, the audience is free to have their own interpretation and judgment. By watching a clip, one can see the individual's facial expressions, gestures, and voice tone, which in the end help reveal Trump's characteristics. This is an example of a clip. This is an interview of Anderson Cooper with Stephen Hahn and Dr. Gupta, the member of COVID-19 response in the USA, about Trump's bleach injection idea. At one point, Dr. Hahn says, and no, I certainly wouldn't recommend an internal ingestion of a disinfectant. Upon hearing this, Dr. Gupta gives this expression, which is compressing the lips. According to Navarro, lips compression reveals accurately a negative emotion suddenly registered. So we can see here that Gupta is not pleased with the idea of internal ingestion of a disinfectant. In addition, he says the idea of injecting disinfectant, no reason those questions may be asked, absolutely no merit to that. So what he is saying is that the idea is ludicrous, therefore he is implying that Trump is stupid and ignorant. The second new strategy is direct quote, which is repetition or reproduction of Trump's words verbatim. There are 2 instances of this. In repeating Trump's exact words, PAKMAN brings that particular utterance into spotlight. It shows that this particular part is important. PAKMAN's facial expressions, gestures, and voice tone help us to see his opinion about Trump, in the end, Trump's characteristics. The last new strategy is still, which is a picture or a screenshot to emphasize a point which leads to negative representation of Trump. This is an example. It is an opening scene of the 9th episode. So we can see here that Trump and Pence look very ridiculous, which is meant to be so. So PAKMAN in doing this is exposing Trump's incompetence in his wish to have churches packed on Easter Sunday. This is the construction of Trump based on the microstructure analysis. So in the end, Trump is unfit to be president. The microstructure analysis, despite the difference in the type of data source, Van Dijk's discourse device strategies found in this study are similar to those of previous studies. This means Van Dijk's discursive device strategies are still applicable to analyze videos. Nonetheless, as presented in the findings, there are new discursive device strategies discovered as a result of the data source being audiovisual. The purposes of the 3 novel strategies are to persuade the audience to agree with PAKMAN's stance and to convince the audience that Trump must not be re-elected. There are new findings in the macrostructure analysis, and the new findings in the superstructure analysis are intro, insert, coda, and recount. This study strengthens the previously done studies of representation. In conclusion, Trump's negative representation is reflected in the macrostructure analysis and the microstructure analysis. Everything comes to Trump is not a good president. The superstructure analysis and the macrostructure analysis reveal PAKMAN's intentions. An informal talk show such as the David PAKMAN show cannot be categorized into one genre only. The 3 novel strategies involve multimodal elements, mainly the visual elements. As far as the implication is concerned, the theoretical implication is the discovery of the 3 discursive strategies enriches Van Dijk's list of discursive strategies. The intro inset coda will enable researchers to make more accurate distinction between the expositional stages. The practical implications is students who are preparing speeches or presentations in which they have to talk about someone or something can make use of more strategies in addition to the 42 strategies. The new strategies will make the student's representation of the person or the thing more effective and engaging. In order to make an expositional talk more engaging and alive, inserting narratives is a good idea. The limitations of this study is that this study does not address all multimodal aspects such as room layout and the people's appearances. And only 16 episodes are discussed. Based on that, there are some recommendations for future researchers. The first one is that other episodes might be used, or maybe other talk shows. Live debates are also interesting to discuss, or exploring other fields of critical discourse analysis, for example, ideology. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bernadette Santosa. Ladies and gentlemen, each of the 5 examiners will ask questions. I have the honor to invite Bapak Umar, Muslim Ph.D., as our external examiner to pose the first question. Time is yours, Bapak.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to congratulate the candidate, Ms. Bernadette Santosa.
Thank you.
You must have worked very hard
Thank you,
to complete this dissertation. I think I appreciate that you have delved into spoken data using Van Dijk's theory and also Kress and Van Leeuwen. Yep. You have you have new findings, of course. Okay. My question is related to the data. So, you have 2 research questions. Okay. The second one is about multimodality.
Yes.
Okay. For the first question, okay, you present for the text, spoken text, the data will mainly come from David PAKMAN's spoken language. But for the second research question, you discuss more about visual aspect of Donald Trump rather than David PAKMAN's.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Any particular reason for that? And related to that question, I believe you you have watched maybe hundreds of times of the videos. So I think you can explain the visual aspects of David PAKMAN's, which you didn't read in the dissertation. Thank you.
Thank you. So the second research question, which is about the multimodal aspects, it is about the 3 new strategies, direct clip, direct quote, and still. And especially for all of them actually, especially direct clip, they show, most of them show Trump's, show clips of Trump's interacting with people. This is why mainly Trump's expressions are discussed. However, as shown in the presentation, there are clips which show other people talking about Trump, and from that, their facial expressions, such as Dr. Gupta's expression, is also helpful in revealing Trump's characteristics. And I'm sorry, the second question is?
Yeah, the second question, visual aspect of the David PAKMAN, because you haven't talked much about this. So how his eyes
Okay.
and gesture, etc.
Okay, yeah, I didn't include it in my presentation because it would be too long. So in one of the instances, actually both of them, in direct quote, when PAKMAN is repeating Trump's words, we can see that he is very upset. So for example, when he talks about Trump's response to Jim Acosta's question about why his statements often contradict his health team. Trump says that is CNN fake news. So obviously it is very irrelevant to the question. So when repeating this, PAKMAN, he does this. That's CNN, that's fake news. So in terms of the visual aspects, we can see PAKMAN's gesture. He is pointing his fingers, showing that these words, when he says that's fake news, this means those words are important. They are to be highlighted. And in addition, when saying that, PAKMAN is looking straight into the camera with wide eyes. So it is clear that he is not happy about that. In fact, he looks quite angry. And his voice also shows that he's not angry. He's not happy with Trump's statement, which is why it leads to the conclusion that Trump, in saying that, is very reckless and abusive.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bapak Umar Muslim Ph.D. Would Professor Dr. Setiono Sugiharto, the second examiner, now pose your questions?
Thank you, Dr. Luciana. Bernadette, again, congratulations.
Thank you, Prof.
I have one question related to your research finding. You employ multimodal critical discourse analysis.
Yes.
And here you stated that, let me read this for you briefly. What once was a mere analysis on how language is exploited to create meaning is now empowered with an analysis on the aspects of audio, visual, and spatial. I think this is a quite contemporary perspective of how language is now gained less dominant in linguistic analysis. Okay. However, when I read your analysis, you did not fully employ the multimodal critical discourse analysis, particularly on the spatial aspect. It is called now spatial repertoire. Okay. You acknowledge the importance of audio, visual, and spatial. My question is now, what roles these spatial aspects play in contributing to the discursive strategies you have revealed in your research?
Okay, thank you, Professor. If I'm not mistaken, the spatial aspect is about how objects are placed in a picture, for example, or something else. So here, for example, in the stills, which show that what I used as an example there, we can see that Trump and Pence's picture dominates the picture, the still. This shows that the two, they are the most important thing to focus on, whereas the White House logo is at the back, but they are also important because it gives us the knowledge that they are in the White House, and in terms of the CDA or MCDA, it gives context that they are the president and the vice president of the USA, and they are actually acting as those. Unfortunately, their statements don't show that they are president and vice presidents.
Yeah, but I think it needs to be included in your analysis.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes.
that you also keep abreast of the development on the theoretical aspect, particularly in analyzing Donald Trump's, okay, and David PAKMAN's show here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Prof.
Yeah, because it is really unfortunate if you mentions multimodal critical discourse analysis, but your analysis is still fully dominated with logocentrism, which glorify language as superior, more superior than other multimodalities, particularly in this respect, spatial repertoire. Okay, I think I'm done, Dr. Luciana. No further questions.
Thank you, Professor Sugiharto. I now invite the third examiner, Ibu Christine Manara, Ph.D., to ask questions.
Hello, Bu Bernadette. First of all, big congratulations.
Thank you.
I consider you have made a lot of changes, so I appreciate that very much. Bu Bernadette, since I'm a teacher, so my question would be related to teaching. So, what new insights from your research that you think you can take into your teaching practice? So, from doing all of this, research, what did you take with you that you think maybe you can do something about it in your teaching practice?
Okay. Thank you.
That's all.
Well, being a linguistics teacher myself, I would say that, well, first of all, maybe I would share this with my colleagues in the field of CDA. One of them is an expert there. Probably that. And then this is about the theory, Bu. So theoretically speaking, it might be that is what I may do. But probably when we talk about using the strategies, this may be helpful if maybe one day I am assigned to teach composition or conversation, where let's say one of the topics is talking about someone, or informally, probably in a wedding, talking about the best man should be talking about the groom or something, using so I could say, I could make the students aware that, hey, these are things that you may use to help make your representation of this person or this thing more alive, let's say.
So how all of these modalities can be used to construct a particular meaning, yeah?
Yes, Bu.
Okay. I could see that when you were answering Prof. Umar Muslim's questions, that stills are used to reinforce a certain meaning, or the way that PAKMAN was using the gestures, hand gestures,
Yeah.
was actually turning or making a meaning, how do I say this, switch the meaning into a different meaning, right? So he's replicating Trump's action to suggest new meaning by using that stills when he is explaining about something. So he claim it first, he accept it first, right? The way Donald Trump is using this gesture, and then he twist it using particular messages before he produced that gestures. So you can explain it that way. I think for your revision, I would like to see more of this, how PAKMAN is actually reorganize the meaning, right? So he used the still pictures only as the base of discussion, and then he make out some points, yeah, arguments. Yeah, he built up a certain arguments, and then twisting it around by using the same gesture to give new meaning. So he's actually claiming that modality, the same modality, but twisting it around while making his argument. So I think I would like to see more of that in the analysis, and that would be much more useful to be taught to your students as how to how do I say this? How to reorient the meaning. Yeah.
Reinvent.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yes, that's the last one. Yes, that's even better than mine. Yeah. So, yeah, if you could do more of that in your revision, I think it would be much more interesting and useful for other students. Yeah, I think that's all from you.
Thank you.
Congratulations once more, Bu.
Thank you, Bu.
Thank you, Ibu Manara, PhD. If Professor Bahren Umar Siregar, PhD, the dissertation advisor, would ask any questions, please do so.
Thank you, Dr. Luciana. Bernadette,
Yes, Prof.
how do you feel right now?
Scared.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy you now reach this stage, the final stage.
Thank you, Prof.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Right. Maybe I would like to ask a few things about the methodology. In your presentation before you presented the analytical procedures from macro, super to micro structure analysis.
Yeah.
Was it actually the actual order of the application of the analysis, or you could just choose any one of them to apply if necessary?
Well, actually, Van Dijk does not specify the order, but when reading his books, I believe this is the order that he explains. He does the explanation. And in my opinion, this is actually the best way to do it, from macro, super, and the micro.
Okay, right. Now, in the application of these three different levels of analysis, how do you integrate the multimodal analysis into these three levels of analysis? Did you separate each of them and then go and move on to the multimodal analysis? Would you like to share with us how you integrated these three levels of analysis with the multimodal analysis?
Well, the multimodal approach, I would say, is used to help the analysis, particularly the superstructure and the microstructure. Because in the macrostructure analysis, we only look at the utterances. So, for instance, in the superstructure analysis, when in the finding about insert, coda, and intro, they are actually found because the medium of delivery chosen by PAKMAN is this type video, and for this superstructure is his speech. The visual aspects are clearer in the microstructure analysis because they show Trump's characteristics, and this is how they help. For example, when concluding that Trump he cannot control his emotion, PAKMAN uses stills, tweets from Trump, the angry tweets, which in the end show how emotional Trump is. So the characteristics, in determining the characteristics, I use Van Dijk's theory. And how do I come to that? I use the multimodal theory.
Yeah. That's interesting. So you started from a text, then you use multimodal devices to amplify the meaning you have already extracted from the text.
Yes.
So to me, both of them are equally important.
Yes, Prof.
Right?
Yes.
So your point also gives a kind of explanation to previous question by Professor Setiono. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Professor Bahren. Ibu Yanti, Ph.D., the co-advisor, do you have any additional questions to ask?
Thank you, Dr. Luciana. Bu Bernadette, I hope you are less scared now, since I'm the last. Yeah, congratulations, Bu, and thank you for your hard work in revising your draft.
Thank you, Bu.
I'm not going to ask anything about the content, but I want to ask you about your experience doing this research. What challenges did you face during this, phase of research? Because as you mentioned in your dissertation, also in your presentation earlier, that normally CDA focuses on text, right? But now you're looking at something like new source of data, that's video. So I would like you to share with us the challenges that you face in doing this research.
Yeah. Thank you, Bu. The most difficult thing is that there are I have not been successful in finding other studies which do the same thing. So I had to figure out by myself how I do it. And in doing that, I contacted Professor Van Dijk himself to ask him what he thinks about this topic. Luckily, he approves, let's say. And then my next step is what's next. And that is one of the struggles. So what do I do with this? And after that, I attended a webinar, and the speaker talks about multimodal discourse analysis. And I contacted her, and she mentions construction. And this is how I came up with construction of Donald Trump. So basically, the biggest challenge was to figure out how I was going to do this and what do I do with this many data. I hope that answers the question.
Okay. Now that you have, had this experience, what's next in your research?
What's next? Find something else, maybe.
So you are traumatized with this topic then?
Sort of.
Okay, thank you, Bu Bernadette.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Luciana.
Thank you, Ibu Yanti. Ms. Bernadette Santosa, the examination is now over. This open academic session to examine our doctoral candidate is finished. Permit us now to have a short intermission to assess the examination results of Ms. Bernadette Santosa.
Hadirin yang terhormat, para penguji, promotor, ko-promotor, dan ketua sidang akan meninggalkan ruangan selama 20 menit. Hadirin, kami mohon untuk berdiri dan duduk kembali ketika arak-arakan selesai. Sí. Sí. Hey, sí. Sí.
Mohon Bapak Ibu siap-siap, acara akan dimulai kembali.
Hadirin yang kami muliakan, para penguji, promotor, kopromotor, dan ketua sidang kembali ke ruang sidang promosi. Hadirin dimohon untuk berdiri kembali. Hadirin dimohon untuk duduk kembali. Promovendus Saudari Bernadette Santosa, kami persilakan maju untuk menghadap Ibu Dekan.
Having heard the examinations board's assessment, deliberation of your ratings in your public defense, the total credits earned during your study, and the duration of your doctoral studies in this university, I hereby announce that you, Ms. Bernadette Santosa, have passed the examination very satisfactorily. I now invite Professor Bahren Umar Siregar, Ph.D., the dissertation advisor, to confer the doctor's degree on Ms. Bernadette Santosa and thereupon deliver his laudatory address.
Thank you, Dr. Luciana. With the power invested in me as your dissertation advisor, I hereby pronounce you Doctor of Linguistics with all the rights and honors pertaining thereto, according to the extant academic traditions. In evidence of your promotion, I present you with the doctor's diploma, which you have obtained with great diligence. I wish you great success in your future career. I now want to make a few personal observations about your work so far. Dissertation Defense Examination Committee, Board of Examiners, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Bernadette Santosa. First of all, my fellow co-promoter, Yanti, Ph.D. and I would like to congratulate you for having successfully presented your dissertation to the Dissertation Defense Examination Committee today, and for having also been awarded the degree Doctor of Linguistics. I would also like to extend our congratulations to your family, friends, and colleagues who all come here today from Bandung. I don't know, by whoosh perhaps. From Bandung to witness this once-in-a-life event, the public academic session for the promotion of your doctoral candidate in applied English linguistics. Now let me switch to the Indonesian language. Yang terhormat para hadirin, izinkan kami menyapa beberapa yang hadir, karena pada saat ini bersama kita hadir keluarga besar Dr. Bernadette Santosa. Izinkan saya, promotor dan co-promotor Ibu Yanti Ph.D. menyampaikan ucapan selamat kepada seluruh anggota keluarga yang hadir, khususnya kepada Ibu Yanti Santosa, ibundanya Dr. Bernadette Santosa, Aloysius Santosa, kakak Dr. Bernadette Santosa, Christopher Santosa, adik Dr. Bernadette Santosa, Renata Tohari, adik ipar, dan beberapa keluarga, famili, Ibu Teresia Widiawati, saudari Melisa Akadewi Wijaya, Ibu Grace Utama, Ibu Intan Sugandi, Ibu Perdarini Wijaya, saudari Stacy Oktaviani, Bapak Andi Sebastian, dan Ibu Indahwati Tejo Harsono. Ucapan selamat juga kami sampaikan kepada perwakilan Universitas Kristen Maranatha Bandung. Ada Ibu Lewina Agustin yang juga akan mengikuti jejak Dr. Bernadette Santosa, karena dalam waktu dekat akan memulai riset disertasinya. Kemudian ada Ibu Hianli Mulyadi, Ibu Heni, dan Bapak Dekan Fakultas Bahasa dan Budaya, Bapak Anton Standio, Ibu Septriani Standi, Bapak Sony Angjaya, Ibu Trisnowati Tanto, Ibu Jennifer, Ibu Joanna Sukam, Ibu M. Meli Kosasi, Ibu Mariani, Ibu Fenty L. Siregar, Bapak Pris Huta Barat, dan Bapak Wintarko Gunawan. Kami mengucapkan selamat atas keberhasilan Dr. Bernadette Santosa, dosen Universitas Kristen Maranatha Bandung, yang baru saja berhasil menyelesaikan studi doktornya pada program studi doktor Linguistik Terapan Bahasa Inggris Universitas Katolik Indonesia Atmajaya. Now let me continue my laudatory speech. It is a privilege and a great pleasure to extend my laudatory speech in honor of Dr. Bernadette Santosa, who has just been awarded the highest academic degree, Doctor of Linguistics, by the Dissertation Defense Examination Committee here today. Dr. Bernadette Santosa is the 53rd doctor graduated from the Applied English Linguistics program at Atmajaya Catholic University. Dr. Bernadette's dissertation, as we have just listened to her presentation, was about how a speaker exploited the political discourse through a multimodal media to construct Donald Trump. At that time was the President of the United States of America, in the David PAKMAN show. The show is a progressive news talk show currently airing on television, radio, and the internet, hosted by David PAKMAN. The objectives of the study were to delineate how the former United States President Donald Trump was constructed into a number of character traits in multimodal media, like in a talk show format, and how and how the multimodal elements were used to support the construction. The first result of her study was the identification of 26 character traits of Donald Trump used to construct Trump's personality. The second result was far more interesting, as there were 3 discourse strategies which were not mentioned in any other previous related studies. They were direct clip, stills, and direct quote, in addition to the existing 42 discourse elements or strategies by Van Dyke, used to support the construction of Trump's personal character. However, the most important distinctive feature that the study had so far was the blend of narrative into the political discourse of exposition, as no study so far as I know, has mentioned this feature in the study of political discourse. In terms of analytical approach, the study employed the 3 levels analysis involving the microstructure, macrostructure, and superstructure of the talk show, and proved that the strength of their combination was able to untangle both the discourse representation and the discursive strategies. The use of this approach filled the gap in the previous studies, all of which relied or focused independently on either microstructure alone, microstructure only, or just superstructure level. Dear Dr. Bernadette, before concluding this oration, let me now extend to the audience my short observations about your doctoral journey at Atmajaya. You first joined my class in the first semester in August 2017, right? You completed all the courseworks on time in the second semester in 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was not an easy way for you to go throughout your study, more or less 7 years long, most of which was all devoted to your dissertation writing, because the courseworks only in 3 semesters. The situation became much harder, not only for you, but also for all of us during the COVID-19 pandemic period. You had much more difficult time when you lost your beloved father on the 30th of April 2020. It took almost 2 years for you to come back to grab the opportunity to go to stage 1 proposal seminar. It was March 11, 2022. There was a period of long absence from March to December 2022 where you had to escort and take care of your mother, your beloved mother, your beloved mother. You made decision to devote yourself to comfort her and console your grieving mother, who lost her beloved husband 2 years before. It was a hard decision, but it was the best thing you could do for your mother at that time. And you moved on to stage 2, research in progress, on January 2023. It took almost a year for you to come back for the stage 3, because the stage 3 was held on the 14th November 2023. Stage 4, closed session defense, was held in the 15th of December 2023. And finally, today, the public session defense, 22nd January, the 22nd of January 2024. Good date. For most of us, doctoral journey is more than a simple metaphor. I'm not going to talk about this further. As I said earlier, Dr. Bernadette, you have successfully made it through all of these challenging times. Now it's time to identify and confront the challenges in the near future as well as in the long term. Today, you are now a doctor in applied linguistics. I believe you are now ready to continue another episode of your life journey to reach your ultimate goals. Keep on the track, and you will end up where you want to be. Now, with all members of the Digitization Committee and my colleagues in the program, my fellow co-promoter, and I offer you, your family, and your colleagues who witnessed the success here today, our warmest congratulations and heartfelt wishes for the continuation of your career. Thank you.
Dr. Bernadette Santosa, let me also, on behalf of the examiners, offer you our heartfelt congratulations with your achievement. I now invite you to say a few words to the Assembly.
Thank you, Ibu Lucy. Thank you, Prof. Bahren. First and foremost, my profound gratitude goes to Lord Jesus Christ and Mother Mary, without whom I would not have been able to complete this research. I am deeply indebted to my advisor, Prof. Bahren Umar Siregar, Ph.D., and co-advisor, Ibu Yanti, Ph.D., for their limitless patience, understanding, and guidance. It must have not been easy to supervise a novice researcher like myself. Thank you for always giving your valuable time for online and on-site consultations. Thank you for always encouraging me to go on, for not giving up on me. Ibu Yanti, thank you for making me work at the office, for providing seat for me to work on my proposal. It really helped. My greatest appreciation goes to the brilliant lecturers of LTBI Doctoral program for sharing their knowledge, for being helpful and approachable. To Pak Cecep S. Pratama, our administration staff, thank you for always patiently assisting us and providing us with important information whenever we ask for it. Pak Cecep, terima kasih banyak. Being part of LTBI FPB Universitas Katolik Atmajaya has been a privilege. Thank you to the examination board, Bapak Umar Muslim, Ph.D., Prof. Setiono Sugiharto, Ibu Christine Manara, Ph.D., Prof. Bahren Umar Siregar, Ph.D., and Ibu Yanti, Ph.D., for their constructive criticisms and invaluable suggestions for me to keep improving my dissertation draft. My special thanks go to the late Bapak Denny Arnosquari, Ph.D., my former co-advisor, who introduced me to lexicology and lexicography, as well as corpus linguistics, and sparked my interest in those areas. I hope to be able to explore them later. My fellow LTBI 2017 batch, Dika, Nunung, Alex, Ibu Dora, Pak Jimmy, thank you for all the wonderful times we spent during our first 3 semesters. Knowing all of you is a blessing. I would also like to thank the Dean of the Faculty of Languages and Cultures, Maranatha Christian University, Bapak Anton Sutandio, Ph.D., for allowing me to pursue my doctoral degree, and the Vice Deans, Ibu Heni SSM Hum and Ibu Sapteriani Sutandi, BA MTCSOL. Thank you for all the support and assistance you have given me throughout my studies. You are an extraordinary team. My sincere thanks also go to the linguistics team of the English Department, Faculty of Languages and Cultures, Maranatha Christian University, Ibu Doktor Krishnawati Tanto M. Hum, Bapak Hendra SSM Hum, Ibu Heni SSM Hum, and Ibu Jennifer SSM Hum, for their willingness to take over my classes and other teaching responsibilities, for their understanding, and for not rushing me. To my dear friends, Hihi, Henny, Joe, and Sonny, thank you for your friendship and companionship during my working days at the office, for the chit-chats, laughs, and caffeine booths. Thank you for being my support system. he and Annie, thank you for the coffees and talks, for believing in me, but most of all, thank you for being there for me and with me during some of my lowest and darkest times. You really helped me through this. He, thank you for your warm welcome when I started working at the office again. Thank you for being a shoulder to cry on. Henche, thank you for your invitations to Melipir, for always making yourself available for enlightening and productive discussions. You have given a new definition of Melipir. Thanks for lending me your precious books and for your supplies of e-books, but most of all, thank you for sharing your profound knowledge of CDA. To Irmala Sukendra, thank you for our random chats and occasional meetups. Ibu Becky, for your willingness to assist me here today. To Lewina Agustin, thank you for all your words of encouragement and prayers. All the best for your dissertation writing process. You're in good hands, you're ALSIT. My appreciation also goes to the people I cannot mention one by one who have given me their support and prayers in this process of obtaining my doctoral degree. Thank you all. These last 6.5 years have been very humbling and a life-changing experience. Last but not least, I would like to express my deepest appreciation and gratitude to my family. Papa in heaven, for always being so proud of me. If only I'd realized it sooner. For all your prayers, for always watching over me from above. Mama, for your never-ending and bottomless love, understanding and limitless patience and continuous prayers. My elder brother Oki, younger brother Chris, his wife Renata, and their beautiful daughters Marcia and Malia. Thank you for your endless love, support, prayers, understanding, patience, and consolation. Thank you for putting up with me and my antics. Love you all. This is for you. Thank you.
Mari kita berikan tepuk tangan sekali lagi yang meriah untuk doktor baru kita, Ibu Doktor Bernadette Santosa. Hadirin yang kami muliakan, sidang ujian promosi telah selesai. Kepada Ibu Dekan kami persilakan untuk menutup acara sidang siang hari ini.
Ladies and gentlemen, the doctoral degree ceremony has come to an end, and I therefore declare the assembly closed.
Hadirin yang kami muliakan, dekan, para penguji, promotor dan co-promotor akan berfoto bersama dan memberi ucapan selamat kepada Ibu Doktor Bernadette Santosa dan keluarga sebelum kita semua meninggalkan ruang sidang siang hari ini.
Sebelum kami bersiap berfoto, izinkan kami atas nama Fakultas Pendidikan dan Bahasa mengucapkan selamat sekali lagi kepada Ibu Dr. Bernadette dan keluarga, dan khususnya kepada keluarga besar Maranatha. Semoga ini menjadi berkat dan kemajuan untuk Universitas Maranatha. Terima kasih.
bersama keluarga mungkin? Hadirin dimohon untuk berdiri kembali saat prosesi meninggalkan ruangan dan kemudian memberikan ucapan selamat kepada Ibu Dr. Bernadette Santosa beserta keluarga. Kami izin meninggalkan ruangan sidang.